Real Talk is proudly sponsored by Huawei P20 Pro and MTN.
Each week for 10 weeks, we're giving away the latest Huawei P20 Pro and 10 gigabytes once-off MTN data to 10 amazing storytellers. All you have to do is share your special moments with us. Follow at Huawei ZA and at MTN ZA and tag us with hashtag Huawei P20 and hashtag Real Talk Moments. We want to see and hear your stories and create lasting connections across the country. Each week there's a different theme, so keep checking our social pages for details and you could be a winner.
Good evening to you at home and welcome to Real Talk here on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. Well, today we're going into the depths of the very dark world of human trafficking. We see many different forms of this type of exploitation, from forced labor on farms to domestic servitude, as well as sexual exploitation on the streets. Nogwazi Memela is a mother of 5 and she used to work as a domestic helper, but she found herself being lured by a church that seemed to be doing a good deed by helping her financially. But little did she know that she would ultimately end up part of a trafficking syndicate that would have her trapped in a foreign country thousands of kilometers away from home. Nogwazi, it's many, many years later. Welcome to Real Talk, by the way.
Thank you.
It's all these years later, but what goes through your mind when you hear that? Just this brief summary of what you lived through.
Yeah, really, it was so hectic for me because the first thing in that country, in Iran, language barrier.
Yes.
They don't know English. I don't know their language. Even when I was given death penalty, I just signed the papers that I don't understand what is written. It's written in Arabic. We don't know Arabic. Even when you go to court, when the judge talks, you don't understand what he's saying. No translator, no what.
And he's pronouncing on your life and what's going to happen to you.
They don't tell us anything. Even when they sentence us, we just saw ourselves on the newspaper. And then we don't understand what is written. We just saw the prisoners coming and look at us and say, oh, shame. So we asked them, what is written here? Nobody wanted to explain to us what was written on the newspaper. Because in Iran, if they sentence you, they won't tell you straight in court that you were given such thing. They will send the results in prison or writing on the newspaper. So we went. That's
how you find out what's going to happen.
Yeah, so we stay maybe 3 days. We don't know what is written in the newspaper, but we just see ourselves on the newspaper. Until I went to one Iranian who was speaking a small English. I asked her, tell me what is written here on the newspaper. The girl said, oh, I'm afraid to tell you, because what if I tell you your results and then you die? You have a heart attack and then you die. And then they will charge me for murder and then I'm going to be hanged. Because in Iran, if you kill somebody, you also get killed.
So she didn't want to tell you. But take us back, because your saga started back in 2006.
Yes.
As a domestic worker, you have 5 children. What were some of the financial difficulties you were having?
As a single parent, and I didn't finish my matric, so it was hard for me to get a good job. So I was working as a domestic worker in Yuval. So that lady I was working with her, and then she got a tender, like to cook food for people who are doing life skills in Tembisa.
Right.
So I was working with her every morning. We'll cook food and take the food to Tembisa in T-shirt. So every morning when I'm going to work, I'll meet those Nigerians on the street. Evening when I go home, they are there. They are calling people to come to church. Their church is just opposite with the flat where I was working. So every day they would beg me, my sister, come to our church. We are doing miracles, what. Yeah, you see. So one day I told this lady that I'm working with, you see, these people, they say we must go to church. She said, even me, it's been so long, I'm not going to church. Let us just go and see what is happening.
So you went to see?
So we went there in church. It was so nice. They welcomed us so nicely. Everything was perfect. So they asked me, where are you staying? I said, Alexandra. They told me that we are going to give you money for transport so that on Sunday you must come with your kids. As you said, you have kids. Because the pastor asked me that, are you married? Do you have a family? Yes, I told her that, yes, I have kids.
And you saw this, of course, as caring. Someone is asking about your well-being.
Yes, you
How
see?
do you eat? How do you get around?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when they give me more money and then the money, pocket money, that I must buy something for my kids, I was saying, yeah, really, these are the best pastors that I ever met in the world.
So how did the opportunity or even the conversation come about of you taking this opportunity in Iran?
So then, after 2 weeks, I went to church. So the pastor told me that he want to send one of his pastors to my place where I stay, so that he can see where am I staying. So the pastor came. It was one Saturday. The pastor came to my place, and then he told me that he's not happy about my situation. So he's going to take my report to the pastor that I'm staying in one room because I stay in RDP house. So that the pastor will do something for me. So the senior pastor called me that, okay, my pastor told me he's not happy about your situation that you are living at home.
Yes.
As from now, we are going to help you every weekend, bringing you food, a food parcel and money for your kids to carry when they're going to school. So I was so happy with that offer because it's coming from the man of God, you see. But after they told me that, you know what, now we want to get you a job in overseas. So that our brother in Iran, he's having a company, so he's looking for women who will be importing carpets from Iran to China. So I asked them, so because me, I don't have money to go to overseas, they told me, don't worry, as a pastors, we are going to do everything for you because we want to change your life.
So so they funded everything, the
Everything,
visas,
from the visa, passport, everything.
the currency you needed to get there. Did you do your own research? Did you talk to family? Did you ask people about what do you think of this opportunity?
You know, really, I didn't. They told me that don't tell so many people. You know, people are so jealous. Yeah, so don't tell anyone. But I just told my sister only.
Okay. And what arrangements did you make for your children?
They did everything. They told me that I must get someone who's going to stay with my kids. And that person, yeah, they will be paying that person. I get the person, and then they came and see that lady. The lady was from Zimbabwe. So they told the lady that if you need something, you come to us. This is our number. And then they were having shops in town, in Plain Street. If sometimes you need some money, you just come to our shop. We'll give you everything.
So there you are, on the plane.
Yes.
You land in Dubai first.
Yes.
And then, when did you start to worry? When did your gut start telling you that something is wrong here?
Nothing at that time from Dubai to Iran, because they told me that I'm going to stay in a hotel.
Okay.
And then they didn't tell me I will go to the residential place.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave me the name of the hotel in Iran. And then I was in a hotel, the same hotel they gave to me. So when I was in a hotel, I have the number for the brother. They say when I'm in a hotel, I must call the brother and tell him that now I'm there. So I did that. I tell the brother that, okay, now I'm here in a hotel. The brother say, okay, that hotel, they knows me. All people who are coming to me, they know. Just tell them that I will come and pay them. They will give you room, and then if you want to eat, just take anything, and then I will come and pay
for it.
Yes. But I didn't eat. I was tired. I just took a shower, and then I slept.
Okay.
At 12, after 12 midnight, the phone rang in my room because it's a 5-star hotel. That the guy said, okay, I'm here. Come downstairs. Don't leave anything in your room. Take all your luggage and meet me downstairs. And then I went downstairs. I found that it's this Nigerian and 2 Iranians. He told me that he's going to change me from that hotel and taking me to another hotel where I'm going to meet some other ladies that I'm going to work with them. So when we enter the car, it's at night. I don't know Iran. I don't know where I'm working. He just drove me maybe about 10 minutes away from that hotel.
Yeah.
those Iranians, they dropped me off with these Nigerians. When we enter, now it's still in town, they're all buildings. But now when you say we are entering this flat here, but now I only find out there is no more hotel. Now it's a residential flat. Yes. When he opens the flat, first thing, the way I started to suspect is something, because the flat was empty.
No furniture.
No furniture, not even a small table.
Were there other people there?
There were other 2 men Nigerians inside.
Okay.
So now I was the only woman inside the flat. Is there I started to suspect that there's something wrong. Why now I'm in an empty flat like this? So he looked at me and said, don't be afraid, because the flat is 2-bedroom. There's a lady who's gonna come and see you now.
Okay.
And the lady came in one of the bedroom and greeted me in English. And then she told me that she's from Uganda. So I feel better when I see this lady.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
But since I'm sitting there on the carpet with my luggage, now it's time to sleep. I say, let us go and sleep. When I enter the bedroom, there's no bed. It's just a basin only.
Well, your story, of course, unfolds in an even more dramatic fashion.
Yes.
And we'll explore some of that after the break. So before long, as you've just heard, Nogwazi would be kidnapped. She'd be locked away in a flat, beaten and forced to swallow bags of drugs, which put her in hospital in a foreign country. And so we'll be exploring parts of that journey after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Real Talk here on SABC 3. We've been hearing the spine-chilling story of Nogwazi Memela. She accepted a job offer to import carpets in Iran, but soon found herself behind bars whilst facing a potential death sentence. How did it all get there? So, Nogwazi, there you are. Now there's this prospect, you can see that the situation has changed.
Yeah.
How did it move to you now carrying drugs and being arrested in Iran?
And now I was inside the flat now, and then the guy took our passport. And
Took them away from you?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said we must give him our passports. Now remember, we don't have our phones. Our phones are no more working there. And then there's no way where we can go. And then the guy, after 3 days, he told us that, you know what, ladies, let me tell you, here there's nothing like importing carpets. You are here to swallow drugs from here to China. So we asked him, how are we going to swallow drugs? He said, I'm going to teach you.
Yes.
Many of them are coming, didn't know I'm teaching them. Now they are big women driving big cars. They're in your country, in South Africa and Uganda. Because I was in South Africa, and then I went to Uganda, and then I came to Iran. So my contacts are in South Africa, Uganda. Yes.
So what did this teaching you involve?
Yes.
Did he show you how to swallow the drugs?
So at first he didn't show us. He just said, wait, the day when the drugs come, I'll teach you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're waiting for that day. But they told me that the lady from Uganda is going to travel first. I asked them, why her first? They say, because she came first.
Okay.
Yeah, so the day the drugs came, we were told that we mustn't eat anything. Our stomach must be empty. So we were not given food that day. So when the drugs came, wow, what a surprise. A big bowel like this, the thing is bigger than a lipstick. It's wrapped with a foil and a paper. It's so hard like a stone.
That you have to swallow?
Yeah, they say you must swallow 100 of those things. You see?
Is that even possible?
I don't know, really. They say you must swallow 100.
Okay.
And then they give you those things and 1 liter of water. They say you must swallow like as you swallow a tablet. But just imagine, a thing is taller than a lipstick.
Yes.
Yeah. So these ladies started to swallow, but the thing, it can stuck here on your throat. And then they'll start beat you at the back that you must swallow. They won't give you a chance. You'll be beaten strongly. So the lady was beaten. I was looking at her. I was so scared. She was sweating. I was sweating also. And then they say if you can manage to swallow 5, the rest is easy. So she swallowed about 45. Now they were happy that the lady can manage to swallow. because the next day she have to fly to China. So after 45 days, she swallowed, she vomited.
Yeah.
And then they held her with the neck like this.
And
They
forced.
told her that we are going to kill you right now because you wasted our time now.
In the interest of time, I want us to get to the other parts of your journey, because there you were, both of you, having ingested these drugs.
Yes.
And then you get arrested at the airport, but
Yes.
yours actually popped
Yes,
and you passed out.
yes. Yeah, because here they canceled the trip.
Okay.
They said the next week you are going together.
Okay.
So mine, the day of mine came, they gave me also the tamaswallow. I tried to swallow, I failed. The thing was hard for me. I swallowed one. Second, the third one, I felt like I have tonsils. I couldn't swallow anymore. So me, I told the guy that, you know what, you say if someone can't swallow, you are going to kill that person, you better kill me. He told me that, okay, relax. I started you with a big size for men. Wait, your size is gonna come at night.
Wow.
It's gonna be easy for you to swallow because it's wrapped by foil. So at night, they wake me up that my stuff is here. The other Nigerian guy was inside the house. The guy is going to toilet to remove the things at the back. They say me, I must take those things and swallow there and there.
As he's just pushed them out.
Yes, he's pushing them out.
Now
me,
you must put-
me, I must swallow. They
Sure.
say it's how the drug is trafficking. So I was swallowing those things. They were smelling and they were still hard for me. I was beaten until the next morning. I couldn't finish because the guy swallowed 150. Mine now also, they say I must swallow 150.
Yes, yes.
So until the next morning, because evening, the flight is ready for us. So this, I told, and then this guy, the phone rang. He went out. I told this lady that, you know what, we can't finish this thing. Let's take our headscarf and put these things in our body. We did that. So when this guy came back, he came back with another thing that is wrapped, a big roll like this, that we must put in our private parts and go to airport.
Yeah.
We must weigh with
So which one burst? The ones in the stomach?
the one in the stomach. When I was in airport,
Yes.
when
It
we
erupted.
yeah, when I get to airport, you know, we try to explain that we have a problem, but language, we don't know whom we can tell that we have drugs. So we just enter there. So in body search, in Iran, they do body search. They found that we have things in our bras and everything. Then we are arrested in airport.
Okay.
So,
So you got a life sentence. It's unbelievable that you're sitting here today, and this is a country that does go through with its life sentences. But you had a stay of execution, so you ended up spending, what, 7 years behind bars?
yes,
In Iran.
in Iran.
What was the life imprisonment like?
Wow. Prison in Iran. It's not like here in South Africa. There is prison. Because there, you can see, the prison, the way I was, is underground, is in a mountain, underground. You won't see the sun.
Okay.
You stay underground. And racism. Iranians, it was hard for us, even if you want to go to toilet. Because me, when I was in prison, my stomach, my operation burst. I stayed 3 days with an open stomach because I don't know where I can report the issue that my operation burst.
Yes.
Because I was sleeping on the floor with the operation because when I collapsed in airport, they took me in hospital. They found out that the drugs that I swallowed burst inside me. And then they do operation. And then after 3 days, they sent me to prison. So when I was in prison, my operation burst. So, you know, I was smelling like a dead person because the pus and blood was just coming through my stomach, you see?
Yes.
And I don't know whom I can tell. I don't know language.
So is it true that eventually when the doctor arrived, he worked on you without anesthetic right
Yes.
there in the prison?
Yes, so after 3 days, one Iranian, when we were sleeping, because I was smelling. So they were looking, what is smelling in a cell? So they saw that my stomach is open. They went and reported. I was taken to hospital outside. When I reached in hospital, I was remaining with 2 stitches. The doctor just took a scissor and cut me like this when I was sitting like this on a chair and pushed me on the bed. So every night they will put the cotton wools in my stomach to clean. They say, My intestines are rotten. Now they have to clean that pus in my
How's your
stomach.
health now since then?
Wow, I'm managing by the by the grace of God.
Yes.
Because
And I think, as you say, that's a critical phrase that you're using, the grace of God.
Yeah.
Because there was the stay of execution, so
see.
you no longer faced the death
Really?
penalty.
Yes.
The South African embassy was able to bring you back home.
Yes.
Even though the judge had said that you can, after the judge in Iran had said that you could be released.
Yes.
How's your relationship been with your children since your return?
Yes. You know, even you know what? The way I suffered is the way my kids suffered too.
Aish.
We all need counseling. My kids need counseling because even them, they were having trauma after they heard the news that I'm going to be hanged. My family, all, they were traumatized. Everybody was traumatized. So like my kids, they couldn't even finish school, you see. They drop out because of stress that now they don't have, the father is not taking care of them. Now the mother was trying for them now is going to be hanged in Iran.
Where's the pastor? Where are the people that were part of the start of this nightmare?
Okay, these Nigerians here in Yuval, when I came back, I called them on the phone. And then I told them, because those one in Iran, they caught them. Even now, they are still in prison.
I see.
So when I was released,
Or at least there's an aspect, the part of this
yeah,
where
they
there
are
was
still in
justice.
prison even now. Yeah. So when I was released, that one called this one and tell them that this one is released, you must be careful. So when I called this one, they didn't reply my phone, and then they called with a private number. They asked me who I am. I told them that I'm Nogwazi, I want to see you.
Yeah.
They say we are no longer in Joburg, we are in Durban. But we are going to help you with something to start your life. We are going to send you in ShopRite. So tomorrow morning, we are going to send you the details. They send the details on my phone. When I went to ShopRite, they put 150 rand for me. And since that number is no longer exist.
And did you report this to the police when you came back?
Yes.
Is that church still operating?
No, the church is no longer there. They have moved. Yes.
And the police?
The police, because I went there with some other, the people from, they say they wanted me to make a documentary.
I see.
So we went there with them, with cameras and what. We found that that private house where they were using as a church, they are no longer there now.
Okay.
Yes.
So the police say there's nothing they can
Yes,
do.
yes.
Whew, what an ordeal to live through. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
So
you.
that more people who hear your story will see the warning signs, you know, see the bells as they ring.
Yes.
If they start to encounter something like this. Sis Nogwazi, thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate to tell other people that they must be careful. They mustn't trust that he's a pastor or something.
Yes.
So before you want to travel, you must make a research with everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think it's reassuring to know that Sis Nogwazi now spends her time not only caring for children in her community, but also ensuring that other people across the country get to hear her story and hopefully avoid this kind of ordeal. Absolutely heartbreaking experience is what she's had. And thank you to her for coming in to tell us all about it so that we can educate and warn other people of the dangers of being trafficked into a drug syndicate. Well, after the break, we'll be hearing more encounters of the scourge of human trafficking. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Real Talk here on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. Well, earlier this year, 46 women were rescued after police intercepted a sex slave syndicate in Hillbrow. Some of the women shared accounts of how they'd been abducted whilst walking home from work at Johannesburg's Park Station. A woman for whom cases like this are all too familiar is South Africa's coordinator for anti-human trafficking at the Salvation Army. That's Major Margaret Stafford. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
We had to kind of draw deep breaths.
Yes.
After hearing Nogwazi's story.
Yes, yes.
But you get to hear these all the time.
I get to hear similar stories.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, they're not quite as mad as that one, but yeah, we do. And especially women that are just so vulnerable and are not expecting it. It's like a blind side, if you like. Yeah.
So what are some of the stories? We know about the 46 women, for instance, who were trafficked into a sex syndicate, but tell us more about that one.
Well, you see, there's a lot of interesting things around even that one.
Yes.
Because I can remember the Hawks phoning and everybody phoning, what's going on at Park Station, what's happening? And nobody could verify these things, not even the police station that apparently had done the arrest. So we really don't know very much about the 46 women. As far as we knew, that was fake news going out.
Wow.
One woman was definitely taken somewhere, but apparently she did that of her own, you know. Yeah, she didn't want to tell her family where she was going. So we get those kind of stories too. At the moment, there's a whole big spike in children being abducted and children being taken, and then there's a bit of fake news about a Chinese syndicate that's taking children overseas for human trafficking. None of these things can be verified. So
Is that why it's so difficult whenever you ask experts about, is there an increase? How much of a problem is human trafficking?
Yeah.
You can never get a definitive answer.
There's no statistics. We can't give you statistics. So people are saying to me, how many women or how many people were trafficked in the, I don't know. Because there isn't a specific statistic for that.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Is it the way we report, or is it just that the cases are hard to see through to prosecution?
I think what the problem is, look, you know, that South Africa was downgraded now by the United States. And I think a lot of that has got to do with how we capture data, how we put data in. So, for example, we get told by a lot of people that my child was nearly abducted, and we're starting to hear these stories everywhere, and it's almost like a frenzy in the country. And then we realize that nobody's reporting this to the police.
Right.
So then the police come out and very rightfully say there isn't a spike. Nobody's reported it, so there's just a few reports. So I think what's happening in South Africa is that people are becoming more and more aware of what human trafficking is. But we are also not finding the same kind of willpower behind, let's define what is a human trafficking case and what is a sex case, or what is a kidnapping case, or what is an abduction case. We really do need to refine that sort of data. So they go into a house and they find 16 girls. Of the 16, only 4 will cooperate with the police, right? So then we take 4 and they go into a place of safety. In the place of safety, 2 run away. So now you're left with 2. So the official statistic for that human trafficking bust is 2, even though you know that at the very beginning there were 16.
Right.
So
and I guess that's why then it makes this such, how do I put it? This kind of scourge, it's almost like a ghost. It's hard to touch it, it's hard to pin it down, and it's hard to have hard data on it. So many different levels of challenges.
Yes. And it's also understanding the definition of what human trafficking is. It's quite convoluted. So it's quite big, and it's difficult to break it down all of the time. So, for example, a prostituted woman, is she a victim of human trafficking, or is she a willing participant in what she's doing? And is economic dependency also part of the whole idea of vulnerability? And is the fact that she's got somebody controlling every moment of her life, does that not define her then as being a trafficked woman?
Yes.
Is she not being paid what she should be paid? So somebody's taking the bulk of her money. Part of that, where does that fit into the human trafficking?
Yes, because it is a form of exploitation.
That's right.
We legislated as South Africa.
That's right.
We've got, we had the United Nations, a number of other bodies patting us on the back, saying this is a step in the right direction.
Yes.
You have put it in the law. as canon, that this is how it's defined and so on. But clearly on the ground, it's a very different picture.
We've got some of the best legislation in the world, but it's carrying it out that becomes the problem.
Right. Well, we're going to continue our conversation after the break. And to wrap up our conversation, Major Margaret Stafford will give us some insights into how human trafficking syndicates operate from her experience. And knowing this information could be the difference in you knowing what to look out for to protect yourself and your loved ones. Welcome back to Real Talk here on SABC 3. Well, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime report, which was released in 2016, trafficked victims are sold mainly for sexual exploitation and forced labor. But victims are also being trafficked to be used as beggars. They're often forced into sham marriages or to promote fraud and even pornography. But who's behind these syndicates? What modus operandi do they use to lure their victims? And do they target specific types of victims depending on the end goal? Well, we're still talking to Major Margaret Stafford, the South African coordinator for anti-human trafficking for the Salvation Army. So who are these syndicates? Is there a particular profile?
We don't know. There's so many different syndicates working in this country. I remember in 1994, when we opened up everything, by that stage, they were estimating 500 syndicates working in South Africa. So what's happening now, what I'm finding, is that there's a young man running, he's got about 4 girls under him, and he's running his little section, and then there's another guy on the other side running the drug area, and then there's another guy, so they're almost like franchised, if that's the right word. So it gets more and more difficult to catch the kingpin because there's so many of these little guys that you've got to get through before you get there. And what I'm finding and what I have seen happening is we are able to catch the little guy.
Yes.
But we have yet to get to the syndicate level. And we are yet to even understand how huge that is, because just from what we're talking about, we're talking the drug trade, the prostitution trade, like right next to each other, bringing in laborers to do whatever they need them to do. All of these things, even rhino horn and lion bone, all of these things seem to have a thread that runs through them all. And of course, there's always an incredible amount of money, and we've seen money corrupt, and we've seen this happen. I mean, when they find a truckload of children in a small little town, now, and then they discover that these children are from Malawi.
Yes.
Now, how many border posts did that truck with all of these children in the back of the truck have to come through?
Yeah.
So who's funding that whole trip all the way through each of the international borders? And who's got people on every side?
Facilitating this movement.
So we're up against a very organized group with a very disorganized group trying to work out what's going on.
Right. So they're highly intelligent in terms of their intelligence.
Yes.
And the kind of access that they have.
Yes. And they've also got to see everything and everyone as a commodity. So there's no emotional involvement in any of this. Like, they would not have felt very sorry for Lungozo. I mean, as far as they were concerned, she was just there to do whatever. We've even had cases where they've sent a drug mule in and told the authorities this person's coming through, warned them, so that he gets caught and then the others get in.
Yes, we've heard of that. So as far as luring victims, what is their modus operandi? Because I suspect there are people sitting at home saying, oh, poor Novazi, oh, poor 46, oh, poor children who were caught in the truck, and thinking that could never happen to me.
Ah, yes, until you're in a position of vulnerability. So I get a phone call, somebody has gone missing from a little town in KZN. So I find out some of the story. She met this man on social media. He's offered her a job, a very nice job. She must come out of her village and go to Kempton Park and meet him. So she gets on the train and she goes to Kempton Park. He's now sent her money for the ticket and he's there to meet her. Please give me your ID so that we can just fill in all these forms that we need filling in. And then, of course, the rest was history. We eventually managed to get her out. She was locked in a flat in Hillbrow, managed to get her to Park Station, managed to get her to safety. She's back home. Then another young girl, she's 16 years old. She's really, really in the middle of school. She's in a very rural setting. She's been brought up by her grandmother. A young man comes into her life and he woos her for nearly 3.5 months. Every day brings food to the house, and the Gogo thinks he's the best. He's such a lovely young man. Let me take your daughter with me. My uncle has a farm in Greece. She's going to make enough money for her to get through matric and then university. So what does Gogo say? She knows this young man.
Yes, go.
He's a lovely young man. And so last time they ever see her.
Oh my.
So there's various forms. Of course, abduction and all of those things do happen, but they're very, very small in comparison with the other things. And the majority of people that I have spoken to have been lured into trafficking by a friend, usually somebody they know very, very well.
Yes, who kind of vouches for the situation.
Come up, I've got a job in Johannesburg, I've got a flat, come on up. You don't like where you're at, great, come up, and then you end up being trafficked.
A friend, romantic partner?
Yes, definitely.
Job opportunity?
Yes, and also a relative. So a relative who can make some money out of you. Again, you must remember, they'll say to you, it's just business.
Yeah.
It ends up just being a commodity.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think that's a really powerful point, and I hope that more of us are listening to the message in that, to be really careful, to research, and don't fall for just any offer. Thank you very much once again to Major Margaret Stafford, and also to Nogwazi Memela for sharing her story earlier on. Now, a reminder that human trafficking is committed globally across all cultural groups. That's the reality. But it is a scourge that we need to contain in South Africa. Well, that's where we leave it, but after the break, we bring you another hashtag Real Talk moment. Stay with us. Real Talk, MTN and Huawei have spent the last few weeks creating special moments that saw people in need having their dreams come true. Well, this week, we meet 14-year-old Brooke Bennett for hashtag Real Talk Moments. Let's meet her.
How's it, Real Talk? Today is the day. It's the end of an epic 10-week campaign. I've had such a blast. I've connected with some of the most amazing people, inspiring people. I've shared some special moments, and none of this would be possible without our partners MTN and Huawei. Thank you so much for coming to the party. We're really ending off on a high. We're meeting a young lady. She's only 14 years old. In Feb this year, she was diagnosed with lymphoma, which is a cancer that affects the lymph nodes. There's one dream she has, and her dream is to share her story with the world. She wants to tell people what she's been through, and she wants to give advice to all the other kids that have cancer out there. And I think my goal today is to make her dream come true. We've got a great surprise for her.
Nice to meet you guys.
I'm Brooke Bennett, and I'm a 14-year-old girl just living a normal life, going to school. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I got sick with kind of a flu. And after many doctor's appointments and 2 operations, I was diagnosed with lymphoma. The doctor, after my FNA, he said there might be a chance of lymphoma. I'm like, what's lymphoma? He's like, it's a cancer.
Do you know what lymphoma is, Brooke? And she said, no. So he said, it's a cancer.
And then I looked over at my mom and she was crying.
It was just horrific.
And that's when it seemed real. When he said that, it didn't even go through my head. I couldn't understand it at all. But then when I looked at my mom and she was holding my hand, and then I saw that she was crying, and I'm like, no, I might actually have cancer.
The actual chemo treatment must have been the scariest part of this.
I think one of the scariest parts, yes. The operations, bone marrow, losing my hair was also very scary, but yeah, just when you think about something so hectic being pumped into you, it is very scary.
But Mom cried a lot because, I mean, as a parent myself, watching your children suffer, that must be the worst.
I kept wishing that I could take it from her and just have it myself. Because to see her go through that pain is just unbearable.
Brooke is probably just very unusual. She's a strong character. She's very mature for her age.
She's always helping other people. She's very in tune to people and how they're feeling, and a very nurturing person. She just said it's changed her whole perspective on what's important in life, and that she's feels that she doesn't sweat the small stuff.
You don't need hair to be beautiful. You don't need to be thin to be beautiful. It's what you are inside, and you don't need, just because you have scars or no hair doesn't mean you're not beautiful. You're stronger than what tried to hurt you. Someone said this to me, and I think about it every day, but in life, nothing's ever gonna last. Everything's temporary, happiness and sadness. And as you're going through life, things are gonna come knock you down, and you can either fall, you can let them push you down and you fall, or you fight back and you come out even stronger and you keep going.
We've got a little surprise for you. So this has been part of what we call the hashtag Real Talk Moments campaign. This is actually the very last one we're doing, so it's quite emotional for me. And it's all about connecting with people and sharing special moments. And I feel like you need to connect more with people and tell your story, because you're so positive, you've been through so much, that we're going to send Azania a message right now. Okay, here we go. Actually, the whole family should come in. Okay, the whole family's in there. Azza, here we are. This is our very last hashtag Real Talk Moments. Very emotional moment for me. But also, I have found the perfect woman, Brooke, who's been through the most.
Thank you so much.
And I think she's got a fantastic story to tell. So I'm going to send her through to you, and she's going to be on live television telling you her story for the very first time, so that the rest of South Africa can hear. And I just want to thank YWAY and MTN for making this possible. Thank you for this campaign. And Brooke, enjoy it. This is your opportunity to tell Azania live on television your story.
Thank you so much. Oh my word.
Cheers, guys.
Amazing. Thank you.
It's so hard to believe it's been 10 weeks already. And with that, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome Brooke Bennett as we make her Huawei Real Talk moment happen, which was to be on a live TV show.
Yes.
Welcome, Brooke.
Thank you so much.
You are such a champion. Like, there were
Thank
all these
you.
nuggets of wisdom when you were saying, like, nothing lasts forever. Sadness doesn't last forever. Happiness doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
But what's constant is you. Where does all this wisdom come from?
Definitely. I think just going through all of that woke me up to all of that. It opened it all up to me. It really changed my perspective on everything, and I think that when you look at life that way, it makes such a huge impact for the better, and I just wanted to get that message across to help everyone with that.
So how are you feeling now? Is your cancer, is it in remission?
Not yet. I'm going for a scan next week, actually, which I'm very scared for, but yes, to check if it's all gone, and after a year, I'll be able to say I'm in remission.
So what gives you all the strength? Your mom talked about how strong a person you are, that they watch your strength and they admire that, whereas maybe they're falling apart.
Yeah, I think, like I said, in life, things are going to knock you down, and you can either fall or fight against it and become stronger, and everything that you go through just makes you stronger. Definitely the support from my mom, especially. She was there every single step of the way, every second.
Yeah.
My sister and my best friend, who was also there through every operation, every trip, every chemo, everything. So definitely support from my friends, lifting my confidence up. I had no confidence at all for a very long time. I couldn't show anyone me without a wig. I only showed the people that live with me and my best friends. And through all the support from people, I grew the confidence to go out without my wig, which I never wear again.
About that. Oh, you gave it away.
No, I still have it, but I don't think I'll ever wear it again.
Yes.
Yeah, I would even go to the hospital with my wig on, because my hair was everything to me. When I got diagnosed, first thing I did was hold my hair. And after that, it just became nothing. Absolutely nothing. Looks became nothing to me. Appearance became nothing.
So it changed the things that you feel define you. You're
Definitely.
not defined by your hair.
And
you're
also
not
the
defined by a
important
wig.
things in life became a lot bigger to me than the small things, which
That's
was
a good
very
lesson.
important,
What
and
are
I'm
some of the
grateful for
other
that.
lessons?
The people in your life, how you let them treat you. I used to get knocked around a lot, and now I'm strong in myself, and I take more notice to myself. I lost a lot of friends, which is understandable, but it was also very hard for me. But now I have a small circle of friends and I'm so happy with them, and I'm the happiest I've been in a very long time. Also, the way you treat things, the way you look at things, if you let the bad thoughts just take you over, you're going to just spiral down.
And
I
that's
think
endless, right? You think, why me?
definitely, yeah,
Why did this happen to
definitely,
me?
and just knocking yourself down. You just need to push away those bad thoughts and just keep going. You just keep pushing on and on, no matter what happens to you. And you have the people that love and care about you, and you're going to get through it. And through time, the thoughts won't even matter to you, and there'll be something new in your life, and you will get through it.
So
And
have
I
you made
think-
other friends, other kids who
Yes.
are in a similar position?
Yes, and also the kids at my hospital. I was treated at Donald Gordon, which is an amazing hospital. The doctors are amazing, the nurses are amazing. Actually, one of the girls at the hospital named Kayla, I was wearing my wig at radiation, and she had just had radiation. And she asked me why I wear a wig, and I said I don't have confidence. And she stood up in front of everyone and took off a cap that she was wearing, and she told me that I just need to embrace it. And after that, I just told myself that I need to embrace what I've been through, embrace my scars, embrace everything, because it's who I am. I can't put on a wig to be a girl with hair for other people when it's not who I am. This is who I am, and that's how I need to live, and it's made me such a stronger person.
I know chemo's really hard.
Yes, chemo was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it knocked me down for about 4 days. I couldn't eat, couldn't move. My mom had to carry me if I needed the bathroom, feed me, which I couldn't do for 3 days. Yeah, it was all very hard. And also being in the hospital for 10 hours getting the chemo was also very hard.
Yes.
I felt like there was no life at all in me. I was just sitting there, yeah.
And I guess that's why it's so special to have you here today, to have you sitting right here today.
Yeah,
and to also
definitely.
just wrap up our hashtag Real Talk moment. So, Brooke, this is for you. This is our small thank you for
Thank
the
you
champion
so
that you
much.
are.
Thank you so
Just
much.
a little gift from Huawei and MTN.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate you being here.
Thank
And we'll
you.
have you in our prayers.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope I could make a difference for other people as well.
I imagine so.
Thank
I
you.
imagine so. That is the absolutely courageous Brooke Bennett. Oh, it's been such a pleasure helping to make Brooke's dream come true, which was to be on a live TV show. She had the makeup, the behind the scenes, geduntes, everything. And also, I want to say congratulations to our final winner of a Huawei P20 Pro plus 10 gig MTN data. And our winner is Tabongwenya. Tomorrow, you don't want to miss the show. We're live at 6 p.m. again, and I will be joined by multi-award-winning African Queen of Gospel. The one and only Dr. Rebecca Malope will be my guest. So make sure that you don't miss out. Thank you for watching. Good night.
That's cheeky.
Real Talk is proudly sponsored by Huawei P20 Pro and MTN. Each week for 10 weeks, we're giving away the latest Huawei P20 Pro and 10 gigabytes once-off MTN data to 10 amazing storytellers. All you have to do is share your special moments with us. Follow at Huawei ZA and at MTN ZA and tag us with hashtag Huawei P20 and hashtag Real Talk Moments. We want to see and hear your stories and create lasting connections across the country. Each week there's a different theme, so keep checking our social pages for details and you could be a winner.